Still here at King George's Field after the 1-1 between Kingstonian and Carshalton, and we've been joined by an esteemed guest, the new man in the hot seat, Dean Brennan. Dean, thanks for giving us a couple of minutes of your time. Bit of a whirlwind week for you. Can you sum it up in a few words? You appointed on Monday, is that right?
Yeah, Monday/Tuesday. Yeah, just delighted to be back in. You know, my Saturdays felt like Sundays. I was going and watching games of football. I've been managing the last 7 years, so I've been out for a month. So I'm very lucky and very privileged to get back in at such a big non-league club.
Excellent. And what was your view from the sideline today? It seemed like a tough game against Carshalton, ended 1-1.
Yeah, Carshalton got a lot of ability. Good players in the wide areas, and they're well drilled. Good side, like the way they play.
Now, how do you feel the first game of the Dean Brennan regime went?
Thought it went well. I know it's early days anyway, so I wouldn't, even if we'd won, lost or drawn, I wouldn't have got too far ahead of myself, because you never know. Football's funny. We're still 8 points off the playoffs, I think, so we'll still make it.
Fair play to Kingstonians. They've been struggling. They got a new manager in, and today they performed. They done their job. You know, we know we played the better football. We should have won the game, but Kingstonians, that's what football's about.
You mentioned the 6 games in defeat on the bounce. So what was different about the performance today that at least yielded a point?
I don't know, just I think everyone, even with pre-match, things felt a bit more fun, for more upbeat, and everyone was enjoying it.
Well, it let me down 195 quid. 3 of us went over it today and we had a little bet, but I'm just gutted we didn't get that penalty in to get the 3 points.
What was the bet? Just a simple outright win? Or?
No, we done Carshalton and both teams to score. So obviously I'm gutted that they didn't score that penalty, because the point's a good result. Don't get me wrong, the point's a good result, but if we'd have got that, it'd been 195 and we'd have been out on the beers even more.
Before we get to the penalty, good to see you back on the pitch, mate. Yep. It's been nearly 3 months. How are you feeling in yourself?
I'm feel good to be back. Obviously, you know, like, been so desperate. It was hard for me not getting involved and stuff. You know, like football. If you're not out there, you just, you know what I mean. It's kind of like frustrating, but I just had to wait, really, just get it right. The last time at Haringey, you know, I came back, I think, a bit too early, and I got myself injured again. Yeah. I didn't want that to happen, so that's why I took it slow to come back.
It's a little bit small, the squad. We'd like to add a couple. I think that's important. Obviously now with Theo getting injured, we're definitely going to need to strengthen in that department. So we're hoping to sign a few players next week, which should happen. So all in all, yeah, we'll keep going one game at a time.
Excellent. Is it a bad one for Theo then?
It's hamstring, so you just can't take any risks with that. We won't know for another 48 hours till it settles down. So we'll assess him on Monday evening and see how he is.
We've had problems with injury this season. No, El wasn't playing today. Hopefully he'll be back for next week. So Louis, I don't know how long his injury will be. Be interesting to find out. But thankfully we got Delano Sam York on loan for the rest of the season, so that came at the right time. But yeah, he'll be a big miss. But when he comes back, we've got Daly out injured as well. Hopefully, if when he comes back, Buchanan, Theo, boom, even Delano Sam York, boom, that perfect. Everyone will be firing, and yeah, be good. We'll be on fire, hopefully.
We had a penalty. If I'm honest, from behind the goal, it didn't look like a penalty to me. So, to be fair, justice was served. But still, we didn't do enough on the penalty, unfortunately, and the goalie saved it.
What was said? Who was supposed to be designated penalty taker today? What was going on?
Obviously, there was no one like out there. No one said anyone's going to be on pens, but like, I've scored a few and everyone's backing me to take that, you know what I mean? So I was backing myself as well. But I think, you know, just came on as well, being out injured for so long, my right leg and stuff. I don't want to make excuses, but I should have probably skipped that today. But you know, it's part and parcel of the game. You know what I mean? You're gonna score some and miss some. So I'll just take that. Let's just learn, and you know what I mean. Move on to the next one. Really.
Well, I mean, you're a striker, aren't you? So when a penalty opportunity comes up, no matter when it is in the game, you're up for it, right?
Yep. You're not wrong. So, but like I said, you know, it's a miss. Obviously disappointed. Go ahead, but you know, just take it on the chin and move on.
I think the last penalty was taken by Bobby Price, which he was successful with, but I think he had gone off by the time we got a penalty today. So I think but it's, you know, nobody wants to take, you know, people aren't always confident about taking penalties, but to be fair, Omar stepped up.
If it was me personally, I'd have Bobby on the penalties, because obviously I was at the game when we drew 3-3 with Barnet. He tucked the penalty away perfectly. He said that's his first opportunity at penalties, and he tucked it. Yeah. So if it was me personally, if I was Peter, I would have Bobby on the penalties. But I just think it was a bit unlucky. It was straight at the keeper. If you put it in the corner, it was a goal. it was one of them unfortunate things, really.
The Kingstonian's keeper was awesome. He was man of the match to me. Like, I mean, he's an awesome goalkeeper.
And we've also got a big game next week against Lewis, who got promoted with us from the Bostik South last season. Always a tough game against them, but it's also going to be a special occasion, Mark, that day as well. So do you want to just inform everyone what's going on?
Sure, okay. Some of you might know my dad, Lee Kemble, who came to a lot of games over the last year and a half. Sadly, he passed away on the 5th of February. It's been hard for the family and stuff, but the club has been extremely supportive, and I thank everyone for that. And Paul Dupree, the chairman of the club, has mentioned having Lewis as sort of commemorative game to my father, where the players will wear black armbands and there'll be a minute's applause. Things because he said, "Do you want a minute's silence or minute's applause?" But I think my dad would have preferred something like applause. He's not. You want to celebrate his life, not mourn it, really. To be fair, so if anyone wants to come along and be a part of that, that will be next week's game, Carshalton Athletic versus Lewis. So I'm sure he'd appreciate seeing you if he's watching from up there, you know.